Hello there, Seraph17 once again. This is my Bioshock Survivor difficulty, Brass Balls walkthrough. We are choosing the impossible, we are leaving Arcadia, and there is a pretty interesting gauntlet coming up on this sequence, I think. This technically should be Arcadia Part 3, but because of the Fisherman's Market and the way I separated it, I'll just have this as an exit strategy. And we're once again getting caught by alarms, because there's one above that door behind me that I really should have blown up to mitigate the risk of this. It's very easy to trip the alert, and then you have a minute of wasted time. And I don't think it's bad, because it's a punishment for being sloppy, and I take it and I accept it. It just, sometimes, I think it should have sent out maybe 2 robots, and then if you take out the 2 robots, the alert should have perhaps ended. Something like that. Maybe 3 robots, but I don't think you should always have to wait the full time, because it just seems a bit arbitrary. Like, maybe if you destroyed the camera, it ended the alert, something like that. And I appreciate there are those turret alert shutdown areas that you can go to, and that's what they wanted you to do, but I just never use them. Never use the shutdown panels. I just kind of chill. I can hear a splicer whistling. Did you hear that? Gotta use them ears, boys. Gets you through a lot of things. He's to the left of me. But we're moving away from him, so it's okay. So, we're going back to the lady that we gave the rose to, who then ended up dying. We're going to be moving back through areas we've been through, which means there's a chance that we're going to get assailed by splicers who have now been populated in the area. We have 2 of the robots with us, who are making quick work of everything when they're working, but they have a tendency to not perform so well in tight spaces. And it kind of sucks. Like, this is one of the areas that I really don't understand about this game, because it doesn't seem very fair. The enemy bots are expert pathfinders. They know exactly how to move through the levels effectively, without clipping, without getting in trouble. And it's almost as if they have to have a target for this to be a thing. When they're just passive, like when you bump into a splicer who has a turret, his turrets are just as dumb as yours. They get stuck and clip on everything. You'll notice at the very beginning of the game, in Neptune's Bounty, it was hitting against the top of the bar, wasn't it? And it wasn't going anywhere, the turret, it was being an idiot. My turrets are idiots too. It seems like passively the turrets are stupid, but the moment that they get like a target, they can suddenly become a little bit better. But the problem is, there's no way to designate a target. So when you set an alarm off, you see an army of drones go the perfect route they can to find you, and they find you perfectly every time. Yet when there's splicers in a room with you, and you have 2 of these robots with you, the robots are generally left behind you at some point, and if they're not doing what they're meant to be doing. Like, where are the fucking robots now? I had 2 of them, and not one of them's made it with me. Oh, there we come. They're here now. Like, I don't understand why they've been programmed to be so bad when the enemy ones are really good. You know, it just seems weird. So the one thing that I would recommend here is one of the things that I do not end up doing, as I use this undignified body. Ooh, did you see that? That guy had an upgrade. That only took half of his life, and you're going to notice, guys, from this point onwards that the leadheads are going to start getting a little bit more armoured. And somebody left a comment mentioning that they think it's actually armour. So the best way to test that would be to shoot them with the armour-piercing pistol rounds to see if it does more than the anti-personnel, and that would confirm if it is indeed armour that they get as they grow through the levels. But all I know is you'll notice that both damage on your weapons and both damage from telekinesis is not going to be as much against them. And they're the only splicer that seems to do it either. The Houdinis are generally, unless you're fighting a boss variant, they will go down the same time. Nitros are a little tougher just through nature. Thuggish will generally stay the same, and so will the spider splicers. Like, it's just those leadhead guys, they seem to just be insane towards the end of the game, especially when you get to the Apollo Heights and the Olympus Square and everything. There it just becomes crazy. Which I love the names of the areas in this game. Oh, here come some bad people. It's just like aliens. They're coming through the walls. Cutting through the doors. Only in Aliens they were sealing the doors, weren't they? As this guy assails me, and I put him down with the old Tommy gun. I Rocky 6 him. What we got? So I've grabbed something by telekinesis. You can hear the turret going to work. He wants me to shut the door, if you're wondering. But you're not in any risk here. That's the weird part. He wants you to shut the door, but after you've killed the initial rush of enemies, you can just wait and the game never proceeds. This is where they came from, by the way. This is an enemy closet in Bioshock. That's what they look like. And you can stand in there, and it's a decent position to lure people towards you and take them out. But I ended up having an interesting encounter, so I didn't do it. And it was all because of the robots getting stuck and not helping me. Because you'll notice I only have one robot with me, so I have another robot that I haven't shepherded correctly into this area, which is something I should have done. But you can stay here with your back against the wall, and you can get a really, really good position, but you need the turrets to be effective, and I ended up getting one stuck in that room and it wasn't shooting. So when it's just you on your own, it's much more difficult to be effective because you don't have a decoy, you don't have any kind of asset to get the heat off you. Because in Bioshock, when there's a lot of people that are focused on you, things can get tricky. So, oh, do you see that? Look at that! That was not intended. But I did quite get a giggle from it, so I'm always happy when those little pieces of levity turn up. You couldn't have planned that though, could you? You know, the one time I decided to start sticking a bunch of grenades on the ground, the turret flies low enough. That's right, low enough, not high, because they generally are always really high and clipping on things, but he goes low and boom. Wow, that was a great hit. But he's dead now, which is unfortunate. Did you see that though? He wasn't even visible, and he drive-by'd me with the Houdini volcanic blasts or whatever they are, those little fireballs. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to proceed to toss this body at everybody. I'm going to toss the salad at the rest of the salads, and they're going to go down. And if they get this far, hopefully they'll be a little bit injured because there's some turrets and things doing God's work. And then we just finish off whatever remains. Just be aware there is a Big Daddy who's walking around, and I'm going to set him off. The good news is, though, it's not a bouncer. If it was a bouncer, then we would have been in trouble, because the bouncers are way worse, I think. Roses are bad in Neptune's Bounty because it's early on and you don't have the resources to kill them very quickly. But the bouncers can slow you down, which is this is it. Oh no, whew, that was close. They slow you down, they affect your mobility, they move incredibly fast, and they pathfind really well, and they are coming for you. You know, the Rosie can stand her ground, and then she eventually comes your way, but for the most, Bouncer is coming for you all the time. He is in a constant state of, I'm gonna get in that ass. So be very careful. Also be really careful shooting shit that way. So that's 1/3 of the way through the gauntlet. There's no checkpoints here either, but I do believe you can probably save. I didn't save. You might not be allowed to. But then again, I've never really been that afraid of this gauntlet of enemies. Because between Chameleon, the turrets, and having the flying robots doing things rather than whatever they're doing at the moment. Because I don't know where my other one is. I know I had two. One of them's probably been destroyed, but where the fuck is the other one? I couldn't tell you guys. He's probably in the office clipping on a roof or something. But a couple more thuggish and a lead splicer. Put them down. More thugs come in. The thugs will be guaranteed kills at this point, which is really nice. So you can just proceed to save all your ammunition and just toss one to the other, to the other, to the other. It's just hot potato with human lives. And that's halfway now, so we're getting closer. And then there's the final wave, which is going to be probably leadheads, so... They die from the explosives, which is nice. They're not armoured enough to take that, but they're armoured enough to take a body hit, which is unfortunate. So you can hear a mob of dudes to my left right now that have just spawned in. You can also hear them dragging the wrenches, which tells you that they're thuggish, so you shouldn't have too much trouble with them. Wow, you see what I mean? Look how dominant this move is. It's ridiculous. I love it. I love the fact it's this powerful. And it didn't have to be, you know. I think in Bioshock 2, they gimped it to death. But not this one. In this one, it's legit. Yeah, look, you see that? Why did I set that Rosie off? Did you see that? I bounced that body off the floor and hit the dude. I didn't hit the Rosie. It was nowhere near the Rosie. The body didn't hit the Rosie. Maybe there was a spanner or some bullshit, or a shovel that was close by that got flung at her. But I did not hit that Rosie then. And this is not Darkside Phil saying sometimes on hard difficulty your gun aims at the Big Daddies by itself, because that's just him being a retard, and I can show you that clip. if I need evidence of it on a live stream, because he shot the Big Daddy. You saw it happen. I didn't shoot that. I didn't feel like, anyway. Maybe I'm just a retard as well, but I didn't. Look at him. It's cool. Yeah, I'ma find you. I'ma find you, bitch. And he goes, and then I leave. I thought that was wonderful. That I just managed to get the chameleon just as it turned around the corner. That was a wonderfully tense moment. Like something out of a Hollywood blockbuster. But that's the end of the grueling fight. Once we go back in there, the Big Daddy is going to have calmed down. But yeah, answer on a postcard to what you think that was, because I watched it then, and I've watched it back a few times. The body bounces on the floor, hits the person it's meant to hit. The person goes into ragdoll, but doesn't even go far enough to reach the Rosie, and the Rosie's already turned red. So it's almost like I hit her with wind or something. Like psychic power blast. I don't get it, but it didn't end up killing me. So, oh, and look! Look who we found! Wanker. Where were you, dude? Not that we needed you, because it's actually really simple if you use telekinesis, but still. This is me not knowing whether or not the Rosie's still here, so I'm going to be a little tentative. I can hear her. She's to my left. She's going to go and bang on the vent, so she's moving across the room. There's me trying to loot that dude, but my health is already full. I love that noise. Click, click, click. Click, 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 click. Do you know what I was doing then? I was trying to use Eve without having my plasmid hand out. It makes that noise. It doesn't actually reload your Eve. You have to press the left trigger and then reload for it to work. But pick up the resources, loot all the monster closets, and try not to piss off the Big Daddy, unless there is a little sister with him. Him, her. I keep going between calling it a him and a her. Here's a vending machine. And all that's left to be done now is to get to the bathysphere to get out of this zone, and then we get to go to Fort Frolic, which is one of my favourite sections of the game, and it's also a section of the game when I died a few times, because the Big Daddies are going to get upgraded, and the elite bouncer is a bastard. This dude, I swear to God, he must have killed me about 7 times. And it's just because when he gets close, he has a swipe that doesn't look like anything. It looks like what your granddad would do to you when you did something stupid as a kid and he clipped your ear. It looks like that. But it instantly kills you, which I find to be baffling. I'm having a really weird sensation just then. The weirdest sensation. I think I had a dream last night about YouTube, which is sad as fuck, but also kind of funny. Isn't it weird how we can be triggered by something that we see later on that awakens some kind of dormant memory of a dream we had that was ridiculous now we look at it with logic rather than dream logic? That is weird. It was something stupid too. Oh. But you don't care. Is there anything less interesting than other people's dreams? I think not. Oh, by the way, you cannot bring the security bot into the thing with you. This is me going to try and push the poor thing into the bathysphere, but I couldn't get it up the step. I'm a trier though, you know. I like to try and exploit things and give myself an advantage. Let's turn it on, and then turn it off, and then push it with my body. Nope, that didn't work. Oh. Come on, get in there. Please. I should be able to pick it up with telekinesis and just carry it in. But no, the game's having none of it. It would reset it anyway. There's no way it would enable it to come with me, even if I could get it in. But so long, friend. You did nothing except frustrate and obfuscate, you stupid machine. Thank you for watching. You take care now.